Hey everybody, my name is Ian Drake and I'm the owner of Diversity Consignment here in Boston. Today I kind of want to touch on some videos that I've been seeing recently, and I'm sure if you're into fashion, you've probably been seeing these videos circulating on your Instagram or TikTok or whatever, about these manufacturers, these Chinese manufacturers that are proclaiming that they are the ones that are manufacturing all of these luxury brands. And I just want to shed a little bit of light and insight into what is true, what's real, and give you kind of like my perspective from like a resale point of view, for instance. One of them that I've been seeing a lot is this guy talking about Hermes, and that they are the sole manufacturer of Hermes products like the Birkin bags, and they claim that they are making the bags themselves, and that you can purchase them from them directly, apparently for like, I don't know, a Birkin bag is like $38,000. I saw one claiming that you could purchase them off of them for around like $1,200. So yeah, I mean, I just think that this is, for the uninformed, it sounds true and it sounds great, but for anyone who's really been in the industry for a while, seen, touched, felt, real quality, high quality, I mean, the quality standards of Hermes is through the roof, okay? This is not just like the run-of-the-mill Michael Kors bag or anything that you would touch and feel in Marshalls or Macy's or Nordstrom. I mean, these things are like the pinnacle of quality. So, yeah, I mean, first of all, the sourcing of the leather that Hermes sources from come from three places that I'm aware of. One is in Germany, one is in France, and one is in Italy. Now, you could say like, okay, well, leather is leather. Like, how much does that matter? Well, it does matter when you're claiming that you were in China are sourcing the leather from China, when in fact these brands like Hermes don't even source leather from that country. So I mean, yeah, that's one point. The quality of a counterfeit or fake Hermes bag is just so substandard to the quality control of a genuine Hermes bag. They won't even put out anything that has any type of flaw. Why? Because it would destroy their brand reputation, right? So this idea that the ones that are manufactured that are defects are actually counterfeits is just, it's not true. They don't, if they have a bag that they've made and there's a defect, they're destroying that bag. That's no one's seeing that bag. And I'm sure it does contribute to some waste. They're only making maybe less than 100,000 of these bags intentionally to create scarcity, but they are all handmade. Every single one of them is handmade. So, a manufacturing facility is not touching these things with, machine sewing or anything like that. The stitching is jagged and intentional and handmade. Another point, I guess, other than just the obvious, which is quality, is licenses. Anyone who's making a bag or clothing or an article of clothing in a manufacturing facility for a brand has a deal with that brand. And why would they destroy that, supply contract, which obviously makes them money, to just cut out the brand and go directly to the consumer, right? That's just one thing that is like a red flag right off the bat. Same with copywriting and trademarking. They say it's the only difference is a logo on that bag. Well, somebody somewhere down the line trademarked the style of that bag as well, right? So yeah, sure, you could make a similar style. You could make the same style with sub-quality materials and craftsmanship, and yeah, you could call that a knockoff Hermes bag, but you know, it's obviously built with substandard quality and materials and sourced from different places. So yeah, I mean, that again, I don't think anyone is going to ruin, you know, a long term. This brand has been around for 100 years. Why would anyone who manufactures them want to destroy potentially another 100 years of manufacturing for them just for a couple quick sales to consumers? Which leads me to my next point, is that manufacturing plants, companies, they manufacture things in the tens of thousands. So selling directly to consumers, it's not even their industry, really. They prefer to make things and then have brands continuously order in huge bulk quantities. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff in, especially these Hermes ones, that are just easy to point out, that I think are obvious red flags. But again, I think that the uninformed consumer, especially in the comments, you'll see is like, oh, well, everybody knows this and everybody knows that, and we've known that these companies use manufacturing in China. Like, that's not true. These companies don't use manufacturing in China. And I know that there have been Brandy Melville is a perfect example of a company that says made in Italy, but they actually have a manufacturing plant in Italy that essentially uses sweatshop labor to manufacture them in Italy, solely so they can put made in Italy on the tags. It's still made with substandard quality and business practices and human resource practices, but it says made in Italy. That's the case with brands like Brandy Melville. That is not the case with brands like Hermes, okay? Now, it costs them roughly $1,400 to make a Birkin bag, okay? And that's with using French labor or Italian labor, which is more expensive, of course, than, you know, labor in other parts of the world. Does that justify a $38,000 price tag? No, but this is the power of branding, okay? And in my world over here, this is also the power of resale or branding in resale, okay? Because a Hermes bag, a genuine Hermes bag, has high retail value. In fact, it may even resale for more than what it retailed for, given time, scarcity, and rarity. So if you are sourcing a knockoff bag, it has absolutely zero resale value. So that's one thing to consider, you know what I mean? I don't think that the average person really cares too much about that, but I think that the average Hermes buyer does care about something like that, because you're essentially buying something that you could use as an inheritance, you know, for your kids. Honestly, it could be college money. So yeah, that's the power of branding, and the power of buying something that's genuine. I mean, in a different industry, like diamonds, the resale value of lab-made diamonds, are they diamonds? Yes, they are diamonds. But the resale value on a lab diamond is like 1/10 of what a genuine diamond is. But I'm not going to get into that, because again, that's another terrible industry itself. But we're just talking basics and talking the power of branding and the power of, you know, quality and things like that. Now, another thing is, I've come across plenty of Hermes fake bags while thrifting, and you know, genuine bags, people tend to take good care of them. Of course, a lot of people don't even let them touch the ground, but other people, they use them and they do hold up, okay? They're made with the quality to withstand years and years and years and years of use. you come across a counterfeit Hermes bag, and after 5 years of regular use, this thing is falling apart. Sometimes it's not even made out of genuine leather. Okay, so there are some things that certainly are telltale indicators if you're just coming across something like that. So yeah, a genuine one will withstand time and hold up. You know, they're made with, like I said, the pinnacle of quality and craftsmanship in mind. So with people who are experts at crafting. So yeah, it's just ridiculous that I see. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. I know that a lot of people might think that these videos are true and genuine, but they are not. They're not. They don't make substandard items. They just don't. That's Hermes. I can't speak on behalf of like every company. Louis Vuitton, for instance, I've heard that they destroy anything that has any type of imperfection. So, you know, I'm guessing that once you're getting into the thousands of dollar range of products, they have reason to maintain extremely high quality. That's not to say that a manufacturer cannot make good quality items. They certainly can. You know, they can use genuine leather. They can use hardware that's impeccable. But you know, they don't have the legality to use the branding, which that alone will kill resale value. And if you do put, you know, the Hermes brand or the Louis Vuitton brand on it, now you're subject to criminal law. So yeah, that's, you know, for those of you who don't care and you just want a bag that looks like it, then sure, fine. But, you know, to say that this is the same bag as that is just wrong. Certain things, you know, like Supreme, back in, you know, the 2010s, we heard a lot of people talk about the quality of like the Supreme garments and hoodies. I think that crew necks, hoodies, cotton like products in general, you know, it's not going to be something that's like astronomically different in terms of quality. You might have thicker cotton, thinner cotton, higher thread count, Egyptian cotton, but like to say that a Supreme crew neck is so much better than a Hanes crew neck is just, it doesn't really add up, you know. And again, with crew necks and hoodies and t-shirts, they are manufactured either in Canada or the United States or China or Bangladesh or places where you could easily just get a blank and you would have the same quality, okay? But we're talking leather and hand craftsmanship and been doing it for over 100 years. It's a lot different, okay? So that being said, I hope this video, you do find it helpful, and I hope it helps you weed out all of these videos that are circulating that, in my opinion, are just rubbish. So, thanks. Bye.